All right, hey guys, welcome back to a maybe month. I want to say mostly maybe monthly vlog. I'll do these every month as long as I've got some stuff to talk about. So we got some stuff to talk about. I first off, I want to thank you guys for all of the positive reception since last month. And it seemed like some of you guys were pretty excited that I was trying some other games. I know I prior to that, but kind of explaining the situation, it made you guys seem pretty open to that, and I appreciate that. And I know like any other YouTube channel, there's going to be stuff you want to see and there's stuff that you're not interested in, and I totally understand that. And, for you guys that are watching the stuff that's not legendary, it means a lot because I like playing other games, and I know most of you guys probably like playing other games too. So it's really cool to see you guys watching the other videos and getting involved in those and engaged in those. So it means a lot to me that I get to do that and it not be for naught, basically. So thank you. Really do appreciate it. Um, Speaking of that, on top of that, and you'll see in the description here, Gamenerdz. So they're an online game store. I'm sure you guys are aware of them. They've been my favorite preferred game store for a long time. They're just really quick on shipping and stuff like that, and they have really good prices. So I applied and got an affiliate link. So if you guys use that link, if you go to the store and if you ever buy anything and you use that link, it gives me a small kind of kickback. So I appreciate that, and it's free to you guys, so it's just benefiting. It's just a win-win because you guys, if you're going to use that site anyway, if you use my link, they give me a little bit for it, and so that way I can pay for all the crazy stuff like resleeving my Marvel collection, which we'll get to that towards the end of the video. But yeah, and then to accompany that, another big thank you to you guys on the reception for Matrix. It's been really cool. A lot of new, viewers and stuff like that. A lot of really just crazy. I did not expect it to blow up like that. So that was awesome, and I really appreciate that. A lot of positive feedback there. Actually, to touch on that a little bit, there was a little critical feedback, if you will, on the Matrix playthrough. I had a couple people mention that it seemed like I was going too fast, and I've had that in the past where it seems like I'm going very quickly and it's hard to follow sometimes. And the big part of that has to do with the fact that I'm quick. I'm just very fast. If I'm playing a game of Legendary, for instance, just playing Marvel, and I'm just playing by myself, I'm not saying anything to anybody, not doing anything to it, I can probably knock it out in 20 minutes easy. And that's like a more heavy game, like a complex game. It's the explaining stuff and trying to go through my thought process. While I have gotten better, I think I've gotten better at it. It's still something that's very challenging for me. And anytime if you ever read out loud, and this may be not something that you're cognizantly aware of or like whatever, but if you're reading something out loud, it takes more brain power than to read it in your head because you're having to read it and then go through all the motions of and parts of your brain to recite it. And so there's a lot of internal dialogue that I'm trying to do outward, and it just is a little more challenging. So my intent is never to be too fast or anything like that. The other kind of main thing too that I want to point on is that my channel is mostly for just gameplay. My hair is sticking up over here. Sorry about that. My channel is mainly for gameplay. There isn't. I mean, I do a little bit of explaining rules or explaining how to do on things that aren't legendary. Like if we're doing a game for the first time, I kind of explain basic premises. But for the most part, my entire intent is to just provide gameplay. There are plenty of channels that'll do an infinitely better job than I ever could explaining how to play a game or reviewing a game. But for me, I like watching the game in action, and I like seeing a lot of different situations, because when you're playing something and you're just like, I don't know how these things maybe interact, especially with Legendary where there's 30 something expansions, and you're like, this card that came out in 2013 and this card that came out in 2023, like how do they, like, these are weirdly weird situations interact. And so if you're not sure about the rule, it's nice to see like an example of it, of somebody else, how they would do it. Or I'm playing the game and somebody points out, hey, you didn't do this right. I actually had that instance of excessive violence from Legendary. Like, I didn't realize something about only being able to use it once per turn, and not so like that being told, like, so then it's like you just learn that way. I learn very well watching. Like, that's my process of learning a new game, is I'll watch somebody play it, I'll get the game, set it up by the rule book, try to play it best off of what they did. I'll use the book as a reference, and then I'll go back and rewatch or watch a different playthrough and see, now I have context to what's going on, and it helps me. So that's how I learn. So that's kind of the thing. And especially with a lot of games, you kind of figure out that maybe the game, like in its totality, is complex, but you're not doing very complicated things turn by turn, or your actions aren't very hard. And especially with Legendary, like it's really straightforward. You have cards that buy, cards that attack. You attack things, you buy cards, you add to your deck, you shuffle, you continue. Like obviously there are nuances, but the basic premise is pretty straightforward. So I'm always typically going to make playthroughs that are with the intent that the rules are somewhat familiar with them. I mean, again, I'll explain things somewhat, but that's kind of my intent. So if it seems like I'm going fast, that's kind of the approach I'm taking with it. And also too, I understand going quickly can be hard for some people. I've never done it, but I know that YouTube has a speed feature. You can change the speed of a video. And I think if you knocked it down to 0.75, it would be maybe more manageable. If you feel like I'm going too fast, that'll knock it down just probably to like a normal person speed. But you got to consider that like I'm trying to talk for 20 to 50 minutes at a time. That's long to sit and watch somebody for the whole time. And so just trying to not talk or not, there's still, it's hard. I would suggest if you were interested to know what it's like, just if you're playing by yourself, you don't have to record anything, but if you're playing by yourself, pull your phone out, turn your voice recorder on, and hit record while you're playing, and try to talk out what you're doing. And oftentimes you may talk too fast or may start a sentence and not complete it, and it is hard. I mean, it's not an easy thing. It's relatively hard, maybe put it that way. Like you can obviously do it, but I try to be somewhat entertaining. I'm not the most charismatic or entertaining person, so I try to be somewhat entertaining while also providing, my thought process behind doing things. So anyway, that's enough of that. I would like if you guys did have any not gripe, maybe it's not the right word, but if there was any kind of constructive criticism, I'm completely open to all of that, because I don't want to make videos and you guys not like them because of X, Y, or Z. So feel free ever to tell me, hey, like I didn't, this didn't seem right, or the camera wasn't positioned right, or I couldn't see this, I couldn't tell what you were doing, and provide, if you have any constructive criticism, I'm always open to it. I'm never going to be upset that someone, thinks of a way that they think that maybe can improve the situation. So I'm always open to that. Yeah, so before we get into like kind of the big part of the video, I say big, it's a big task, and you'll figure it out by the thing. I did want to kind of point out that since the last time we had a vlog, there was another announcement for another Legendary set. And so I do have Gamenerdz up because I wanted to kind of read the description here. So I'm going to just switch my camera over to my browser. And we got Legendary Ant-Man and the Wasp expansion. So it looks like it's a 200 card set. This says comes out December 6th, which we'll see. It's going to be, 200 cards. We're going to get Yellow Jacket, Ghost, and Kang are probably the three masterminds. It says including Yellow Jacket and Kang, but Ghost is here. We're going to get new keywords like Heist. And then it looks like we're getting Conqueror back, probably because Kang the Conqueror. We're probably going to get size change, I'm assuming. And then it says 8 heroes. So we're going to get Ant-Man, Wasp, Cassie, which is going to be 3. We'll probably get a Hank Pym hero. We'll get a Janet Van Dyne hero. That's my guess. We're probably going to get... what was the name of his crew? Scott's... his, like, friends, that group. Anyway, we'll probably get them. I got to figure out the name. They were... I'm, like, kicking myself in the head because I don't remember. I don't know. And the rare card, though, it needs to be Luis. It needs to be Luis. That's who it needs to be. He needs to be the rare. And it should be called Luis telling a story or something. I don't know what the other heroes might be, though. That leaves a couple more. So we'll see. Maybe Lawrence Fishburne, Goliath. Maybe he could be one. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So we've got those coming. So yeah, looking forward to that. It's going to be a 200 card set. It's going to be screen captures, obviously. But yeah, so it looks like we've got What If coming this fall, 350 cards. We've got, let me kind of come off of this again. We've got What If coming this fall, 350 cards. We've got Ant-Man and the Wasp coming December 6th, according to this. And then we should have 2099 coming like, when is it coming? I think like January or something. This says January 17th of next year. So we'll see. With What If, so What If, it's like a $60 MSRP, but like some sites have it for under 50. I'm going to tell you right now, if the playmat for What If is anything like the Matrix playmat, it's going to be incredible. So the thickness of it is, the Matrix playmat is so nice. It is one of the nicest, and I kind of mentioned that, like, it's very thick. And so I'm hoping that this playmat is similar to that. It'd be super nice if it is. This playmat should probably be very similar to the other one. In fact, there probably some BGG, or there, it might be on BGG, but there was probably some stuff at Gen Con that, there's probably some stuff at Gen Con that had, because I think it was demoed there, that they would, they probably saw what the playmat looked like. I'm going to BGG and see if there's any pictures. There isn't. So anyway, the playmat's going to be nice, but so you know that, so 350 cards you have, you have 60 of them are going to be your starting cards, because you get 12 times 5, so 60 are going to be the agents and troopers, probably 30 officers, probably 30 wounds, so is that 30, 30, and 60 is 120, drops you down to 230, probably 30 bystanders. I know that there are supposed to be special bystanders, so if they're all special, or if they're a mix of special and regular. So basically, I'm going to use this, probably like most of you, is I'm going to cannibalize this into a Marvel, like to my Marvel Legendaries, basically an expansion. So you got to think, if it's $50-ish, $50 to $60, and the playmat that, like, I use the Dark Phoenix one and the Thanos ones, I use the Thanos one, but the Dark Phoenix one and the Thanos one are like $20, $25. This playmat is just as nice or nicer. I mean, the artwork's going to be different, obviously, but you just knock that down, and then that makes the game like half off, basically, if you're considering like half the cost or a third of the cost is the playmat. The playmat's nice. I mean, if it's thick like that, I mean, it'll still be nice, and I'll probably use it occasionally. Like, we'll throw it in the rotation between the two playmats, just because it'll be another playmat that'll have all the boxes just the same. So, I wonder if there'll be sidekicks. I don't know that there will be or not. So if there's not sidekicks, maybe there won't be a box for them. That might be kind of weird. We'll see. But yeah, it should be great. You have 8 heroes. Let me see. Hold on. This will actually tell us something, because if we do the math for the heroes, so there are 8 heroes, so 8 times 14 is going to give us 112. We're going to get 4 masterminds. So 4 masterminds are going to be 5 cards each because of their tactics and their main cards. So it's 20 more cards. We're going to get 5 villain groups, which will be 8 cards per villain group, so that's 40 more. We're then going to get 3 henchmen. The 3 henchmen are going to be 10 each, so that's 30. We're going to get 4 schemes. And then it says 5 new bystanders. So we're at 206 cards right now. So wait, 5, well, this says 4 new masterminds, 5 new villain groups, 3 henchmen groups, 4 schemes, and 5, and then it just says new special bystanders. So let me see if this description got cut off. I don't know. We'll see when it comes out. But yeah, it'll be good. I'm excited for it. So yeah, that'll be great. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Okay, so the main thing of this video is kind of in the, this is something I want to do for a long time, but I was looking at my game, and I've had the game since 2017, and I've used the exact same sleeves the entire time. There are these, gloss Ultra Pro, not Ultra Pro, yeah, Ultra Pro gloss black sleeves. I've used these since the beginning of time. And I was in a weird position because this is coming out soon. And I was in a weird spot of I don't have enough to cover this whole game. So I'd have to buy more. And typically I do. And actually maybe I would have because I have 200 and probably, I don't know. Yeah, I probably had enough maybe. But so this probably would have covered what I was going to use of the expansion or of the base set. But I'm always in a weird spot because it's almost like the hot dog bun thing. Like you have 8 hot dogs or 6 hot dogs, or you have like 6 of one and 8 of the other. Like you don't ever have them. They don't ever match. So I'm always like have extra but it's not enough. So I always have to buy another set, and then I'm always constantly like that. And so I was in a weird spot of like, do I continue to just buy these because I've always been, but the bystander cards and the wound cards and the officer cards are all old, and the tops are all, wrinkled because they're just so old, and I've had them forever, and it's like replacing all those would be a pain because I have replaced the Scheme Twist, the Master Strikes, and the starter card sleeves a few times over just because they're always used. But doing that, and then because of the nature, and I don't know if I have an example here, because of the nature of like some of the older cards, they're just worn. The sleeves are worn, and like because the card doesn't quite fit, and this will kind of the title kind of give this away. But if you look, the card doesn't quite reach the end of the sleeve. Like if we push that, this is as far down as it goes, and of course it doesn't match up the corners. So those corners start to press, and you start to see the outline, and it becomes very evident, the ones that are worn, the ones that aren't. And of course, just kind of the way that I play now, I played the mess out of the game the first couple years. Like, I played it crazy. And then obviously as new stuff's come out, especially the last couple years, we've been just expansion after expansion after expansion. And then just playing other stuff, I just don't play it as much. So, my cards are wearing at different times and stuff like that. So I decided to, because I either have to buy this and then continue to go down the path of buying sleeves, or going ahead and just re-sleeving the whole game using sleeves I use for every other game. So I opted for the latter. Now, kind of jumped the gun there. So most games I have, when I started playing other games, I started sleeving them all different because I was like, I want them all different colors. But that becomes kind of a pain. So some of the earlier games that I got, like Set a Watch has gray sleeves. I have the video recorded, but Imperium Legends and Classics have blue sleeves. Warp's Edge has blue and red and orange sleeves maybe. Terraforming Mars has red sleeves. So a lot of these I had different color sleeves, so I'm like, I'm going to do all this stuff. But then it got to a point where I was like, I just need a bunch of sleeves, so I'm going to get clear sleeves. So these are the Gamenerdz Prime, like clear, like a 200 pack. So I use these sleeves for every other game that uses that card size. So actually, in fact, I use that brand of sleeves. I use Gamenerdz for everything I do. So, and because I just have a bunch of like mini European, standard European, mini American, standard American, or I'm sorry, standard European, standard American, tarot size. Like I have just a bunch of sleeves on hand because like cards have cards, and all of my cards are sleeved. Every game behind me down here, with the exception of Lacrimosa, is completely sleeved, and they all use Gamenerdz. So because I was doing that with the other games, I was like, well, let me just do that for these sleeves. And so like behind me, like Lost Ruins of Arnak, Dune Imperium, Ark Nova, Spirit Island, Final Girl, what else do I have? Astro Knights, all those games, Revive, I'm trying to think what else I have. Basically anything that uses that size sleeve, I'm going to do it. And so part of the thing was I was tired of looking at those old sleeves. I think some point down the line during the manufacturing, I feel like they changed the shade of black. Now, it's not really a huge deal. Nobody really cares. It's not like some were blue and some were green. They were all black. But you could definitely tell the newer cards versus the older cards. And I don't know. I got these sleeves. I did the Ultra Pro sleeves because this is the brand I knew when I started sleeving stuff. but I don't like this little dot here. And I don't like the way these shuffle. It would break them a lot. And so I was like, I have some Gamenerdz sleeves on hand. I had a few, like a couple hundred. And I was like, let me just do it. So over the past 3 weeks or so, I've just bought a crap ton of these sleeves and started re-sleeving my game. The playthrough at the end of the month is Secret Invasion for the show. That's the last playthrough I have recorded with the black sleeves. So starting in September, all brand new sleeves. All beautiful, clear, Gamenerdz sleeves. So I'll just bust these out. You can kind of see. So we're in brand new territory here. It makes the game more fun to play, I guess. The one problem I have is that because they're so new, they're slipping and sliding. But yeah, this is awesome too, by the way. I just really like Gamenerdz as a brand. Like, I've just gotten a lot of their stuff, and this is great. So this is all the starter cards. So I had them in 3 different deck boxes, and I found this one, and then these come out, and so yeah, and so this is like, and this is like $7 or something. This is great. So like bystanders, officers, sidekicks, one starting deck, scheme twist, master strikes, and then runes. So I have my starting cards in here, and then the rest of my game in a big box full of like little things for the cards. So yeah, I'm a madman. I'm re-sleeving. In fact, I'll show you here. So what I did is I'm re-sleeving all of Legendary. I've re-sleeved everything but probably, I think like 800 something cards, and then villains. I haven't touched villains yet. So in a couple days, I'll be getting the rest of my sleeves, and I'm going to re-sleeve everything. But then I have these sleeves here so that like when the next set comes out, I've got sleeves ready to go. I can just buy the same kind of sleeves and know that they'll always have a use. Because until recently, the black sleeves only went to Marvel. And it was just like, they just didn't get used. If I had them, or they would get used eventually, and then it was just, I don't know, I just didn't like them. I like these way better. They shuffle way better in my opinion. But I was going to show you guys, this box is filled to the brim with sleeves. Thousands and thousands and thousands. I just dropped a bunch on the floor. Thousands of sleeves. So I do have them here. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. I don't know if I give them away or whatever, but I'm keeping them just in case. I'm just keeping them just in case. Also, I have a small fear that I didn't unsleeve a card and there's something like lost in there somewhere, so I'm going to keep them until I'm comfortable that I have everything. And then after that initiative is over, and right now, like everything that I have left to sleeve for Legendary, for Marvel, aside from villains, are just a bunch of heroes. So like all the not the wounds, obviously all the wounds, all of the villains, the masterminds, the scheme twists or schemes, henchmen, everything like that is done. And then I have I have 1, 2, 3. I think I have 7 of the like things full of heroes, and I have like half of those done, completely done. And then the other one, there's like 78 heroes or 80 heroes left I have to sleeve. So there's still quite a bit to do, but almost all of it's done. And then I will do villains. And so then that'll all be done, and it will be in a brand new, pretty sleeved thing. And then at some point in the next few months, I'm going to re-sleeve Alien, so that Alien matches my Predator set. Because I don't like those sleeves either. I really don't like those sleeves. I think I did it first, but I bought them on clearance, and they were really cheap. And I don't know. I'll make them the Gamenerdz sleeves. They'll be the same as Predator, and I'll mix Predator and Alien probably together to make just one big game. And then do playthroughs with both of those put together, because the Predator by itself isn't very interesting. So, anywho, that might wrap things up here. I posted the Final Girl video earlier this week. Yesterday? What's today? Monday? Yeah, yesterday. And it seems like you guys are enjoying that. I'm not good at the game, so any tips would be welcome. I'd appreciate it. Tomorrow will be Matrix Reloaded, and then next week will be Matrix Revolutions. Someone said that Upper Deck said that the Bond expansions got pushed back to sometime later this year. I don't know when it's going to come out. I'm sure we'll get a post about it at some point in the next few weeks. Once that is coming close to release, we'll do like 2 playthroughs of Bond to kind of get refamiliarize with the mechanics and the gameplay, and Upper Deck has confirmed that they're going to send me a copy of the No Time to Die expansion, so we'll be covering that as well. So be on the lookout for that. Let's see, later this month. So I have some stuff recorded that I want to put out. I've got some Terraforming Mars stuff I want to do. I have the one big thing that I want to do that I have is Lost Ruins of Arnak. I do have a playthrough of that I recorded a while back. That'll come out probably Sunday, and sometime this month or early next month, the campaign, the solo co-op campaign expansion for it's coming out, and I want to do a full campaign playthrough for Lost Ruins of Arnak. If you don't know Lost Ruins of Arnak, it's a deck building worker placement game, and you're basically playing cards out to send your worker out to places to get resources and find treasures and fight monsters, and then you've got like a track, the research track, and it's a pretty cool game. I really do enjoy it. The solo is really good, but the campaign will be a lot of fun, and it'll be a narrative, and you got branching paths and stuff like that. So we'll do that at some point. And just like doing like kind of campaign or like stringing games together, like I do like doing that stuff a lot. So I will probably do that as much as I can for different games going down the road. So same with Matrix. So after the playthrough for Revolutions, in about a month, so next week, about a month from next week, so sometime mid-September into October, we'll do the campaign for the Matrix stuff. I say it in the video, but I want you guys to vote on which avatar you want me to do for that Matrix campaign, and we'll knock it out. So I'll upload. So when I do these campaign type things, they're not going to be, here's a part of the campaign, you have to wait 2 weeks or wait a week for the next part. I'm going to probably do them every other day till it's done. So when that happens, you won't have to wait long between the parts of it. I'll get it out, because for me, that's the kind of fun part of watching that stuff. So we'll do the Matrix campaign. We'll do the Lost Ruins of Arnak one at some point. When I finish Legacy of You, when I do a playthrough of it, because I'm not done with the campaign myself, so when I do that, I'll reset it and do a campaign for that. Final Girl's got scenarios, so when I get better at Final Girl, we'll do some scenarios of Final Girl. Spirit Island, I started doing stuff for it, but I was playing pretty vanilla, and it's pretty easy for me, and so I realized that's difficulty 0. It's supposed to be easy, so I'm trying to figure out the sweet spot of difficulty, but I want to do a whole series of playing each spirit to show you how it works. I really do enjoy Spirit Island a lot. So we'll do some of that stuff. But I think coming up in the short term, we've got a playthrough at the end of this week against Epic Fin Fang Foom. I'm starting to get into more. I want to do more Epic Mastermind, so we'll do that. What is this week? This week, the last day is the 18th. Yeah, so then next week will be Secret Invasion, and I have my thoughts about that show after the playthrough for that. I recorded it at the end of the last, I recorded it the day of the last episode, so my thoughts and impressions are pretty fresh there, but that'll be next week. Lost Ruins of Arnak Sunday, and yeah, I think that's all. I mean, I've got probably, I think that almost puts us into September, so we're getting close to September, so I have to find something else for next Sunday, but anyway, that's going to be it. I've talked long enough. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Remember, I've got that affiliate link, so if you guys want to check out Gamenerdz or buy anything from there, if you use my link, it gives me a little bit kickback. I appreciate that. And thank you guys so much. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.